Hello, I'm Alan Stringer. If you don't know me, this is my wife Michelle, and I'm not a very talkative person, so this is kind of strange for me. But anyway, I just wanted to share just a bit of what's been going on in my life or our life in the past year approximately. My dad was a very special person to me, of course. He was born in 1925, May of 1925, and he was one of eight children. So he's raised on a farm, grew up in the Great Depression. He was a World War II veteran, drafted in I think 1943, I believe it was, when he turned 18 years old, and fought on the beaches of Normandy, and I was very proud of that. He's a Purple Heart veteran, shot by a German machine gun as he told it, jumping a hedgerow, as they were firing on them, trying to escape or whatever it was. But I'm blessed to have a dad like him. Not everybody, has a dad that close. He was a very, very hard worker, a very great father. I remember him working at times 3 jobs to just when the economy was bad, probably back in the 70s, working 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Getting into what's been going on in the past year. It all started probably back in September. It was around my birthday. That's how I can remember so easy. My dad had a few falls in the months leading up to it, and so he had to go to the hospital, and from the hospital they recommended that he would go to rehab. He was then about 90, he was 94 years old at the time, and went into rehab, and that lasted from September to approximately December. And they informed us that they didn't think he would be able to go home and be on his own.
It was Wednesday, April 1st, because the nursing home called me and early that morning and said he's not doing well and we need to transport him to the hospital. But you can't go because of COVID. You can't go. So the doctor will call you once they've assessed him. So a couple of hours went by and the doctor called me and said, we know for sure he's got bilateral pneumonia and an acute UTI, and we're pretty sure, judging from the signs, that he has COVID. So we've got to test him for COVID, but it will be at least 48 hours before we have an answer back for that.
And I definitely didn't realize that on March the 10th that would be the last time that I would ever see him or talk to him again. So getting that call that he had passed away, and just the feeling that come over me, and I beat myself up for a while, just that he died alone, and that was the hard part.
Because he was a World War II vet, we were going to do the honors and the flag, and because of COVID, no military honors. Because he was diagnosed with COVID, something had to be done within 24 hours.
He had to be buried within 24 hours, and there were at that time there was no embalming because the unknown of the COVID. Nobody knew, and had to be buried within 24 hours. And so all we really had at the graveside service was, we probably had about seven of us together, and his coffin with a flag folded laying on top of the coffin. I guess on into about September, we were able to have a memorial service finally at his church, Luxomany Baptist Church in Lilburn.
With the military honors, finally, they had reinstated that so they could come out and do the honors.
Played the taps on the bugle and then presented the flag. So that was a big I guess a big relief to be able to do that, and a big comfort, you know, just knowing that he was remembered and not just forgotten, you know, like so many of our, you know, military heroes have, you know, are forgotten sometimes. And of course, when I say hero, it brings back a memory of just him and me talking one time. I don't remember what was brought up, and it's something about, you know, a hero, a war hero, and I remember him telling me that, you know, I'm no hero. He said, the people, the men that fought and died, you know, they're the heroes. He said, I'm no hero. But yeah, that, I mean, like I said, that was just, when we talk about the Bible verse, you know, blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. That was the comforting time for us, you know.
Well, we knew he was there, even though it was so strange
Right.
and new, you know, going through that experience. But you could definitely tell, you know, that our friends and family and everybody was praying. Of course, we got tons of cards. It was different. I mean, you know, during COVID, you don't take meals to people, you don't, you know, hug, you don't do this, that, and the other, but the prayers were definitely felt during that time.
Another way that, you know, I took comfort also knowing that when he did breathe his last breath, you know, he's in heaven. He's not suffering anymore. And I know that because I don't know if any of you is Georgia Bulldog fans, but you're going to say, where is he going with this? But Daddy, like I said, he was born in 1925, so I don't know, probably sometime in the 30s before he went off to war in 43, he was at what he called an old-fashioned tent revival between the hedges at the University of Georgia. That was just another way to take comfort in knowing that he had been saved.
And he liked to tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
I was saved at Sanford Stadium between the hedges. But I mean, it was so good to finally have that service and have the family and friends there and give him the recognition that, you know, we felt like he deserved as a dad and a grandfather and a husband and a war hero.
And a lot of us pray, and I know I do myself sometimes, you know, you pray for that peace that surpasses all understanding, and that peace has definitely been there.